Okay, the final section of the email that's kind of unknown for a lot of people, but very helpful if you kind of dig into some of the options is the settings area. That's in the upper right. First, you can get display density. That's kind of how far apart everything is. So if you want to go with a different display density, I set mine on comfortable. If you would like to change yours, you can just click right on that. Configure inbox, main settings, and then themes. Now, you go to themes, you can pick various themes. You can put a GIF in. You can put a picture in. Depends on kind of what you want. I'm going to put this fish in, and that'll be my theme. You can send feedback and send help. Now, we're going to dig into the settings, but I'm going to show you what the configure inbox does. If you have not gone into your inbox and done any of this, most likely your inbox might be set up in all kinds of weird ways. It's defaulted to be primary social promotions and such. I find that to be very, very hard to deal with. So mine's just set up as a primary inbox. And I'm going to show you kind of how to configure. So let's go to settings. So we went to the gear and we're hitting settings. This is going to take you to a pretty exhaustive list that looks super confusing at first. But really there's just some general things that I think you should probably take a look at. And first we're going to go through the general tab here. So the tabs run across the top. And general is probably the one where most of you guys would live. First off, you can change your display language if you need to. Students should be able to do this as well. If they want to change their red mail display language to a different language, they could. As I scroll down, this is a very helpful tool. Maximum page size. If you get a ton of emails and you sort of want to control what it looks like, I keep mine at 20. And that way, when my inbox is here, it will never get over 20. And that way I can kind of manage them through flipping the pages. It's just a lot less overwhelming when I have it set that way. And that's under general settings. You can set the conversations per page. Undo send. If you accidentally send emails to coworkers or otherwise and you want to be able to pull it back, you can push that thing all the way up to 30 seconds. Basically, when you hit send, this button will show up and say, are you sure you want to send that? Do you want to undo it? And you can set it all the way up to 30 seconds. That works on your phone as well. Default reply behavior. If you are an accidental reply all person, you can set your default reply behavior to just reply. And that will basically reduce your chance of being an reply all offender. Hover actions. I have hover actions, which basically means I can get some tools just from hovering over an email. Send and archive. I hide that button just because I don't want to have the risk of sending something and archiving it at the same time. So I actually have that turned off. Default text style. You can set your default text style for your emails if you prefer a certain email setting. If you're more of a sans serif person, or if you're Comic Sans, if you're Dan Gilbert, you can set your stuff to Comic Sans. If you prefer your emails to be large text by default, you can do that. Images. If you always want to display an external image, I have that set to be display. I want to see what I'm looking at or clicking on possibly. Grammar suggestions and spelling suggestions, autocorrect are all on. I also have Smart Compose on. That means that as I type an email, it will give me suggestions as to what I'm typing. And if it starts to get me this gray finish, I can just press tab and it will finish that for me. That's really helpful on the phone because you can start typing. Personalization and conversation view on and off. Nudges we're going to cover in the next video. So we'll be in settings in the next video.